Good day, esteemed members of the Dissertation Council. Allow me to extend a warm welcome all of you. In accordance with order number 225, date August 29, 2024, paragraph 32, a session of the Dissertation Council is considered valid if at least 2/3 of the members are present, including official reviews and temporary members of the Council. According to paragraphs 23, subpoints 1, 2, 3, 17, 20, and chapter 2, subpoint 5 of the same order, as well as order number 305 of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, dated March 4, 2025, on the formation of the Dissertation Council for the Educational Program AT 100-101, Public Health. A new composition of the Dissertation Council has been approved at the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University by orders number 16-194, dated March 13, 2025, and number 16-327, dated May 20, 2025, for the defense of the dissertation of Dr. Candidate Kerbez Naушаевна Киматова on the topic medical and social needs for the older people, based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan, within the framework of the educational program 8D 100-101, Public Health. I hereby declare the session open. Allow me to introduce the permanent members of the Dissertation Council for the Educational Program 8D 100-101, Health, Public Health at the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University. Chairperson of the Dissertation Council, Олжас Нурланович Уразаев, PhD, Associate Professor, Department of Oncology. Deputy Chairperson, Soria Kabibulaevna Berbagambetova.
Recording in progress.
Candidate of Medical Science, Professor, Head of the Department of Preventive Medicine. Academic Secretary, Soria Tajidinova Tajbenova, PhD, Associate Professor, Department of Public Health and Healthcare. Witness Kalibatas, PhD, Associate Professor, Professor at the Department of Health Management, Lithuanian University of Health Science, Kaunas, Republic of Lithuania, attending online. Today, according to the attendance sheet, all 4 permanent members of the Dissertation Council are present. By order number 16-325, date May 20, 2025, issued by Abenova, Chair of the Board and Vice Director for Academic and Educational Work. Temporary members have been appointed to the Dissertation Council for the defense of the dissertation by Dr. Candidate Кербез Наушаевна Киматова on the topic medical and social needs of the older people, based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan, within the framework of the educational program AD 100-101, Public Health. Allow me to introduce the temporary members of the Dissertation Council. Maksud Karimovich Kuljanov, Doctor of Medical Science, Professor, Department of Health Policy and Management, Asfandiarov Kazakh National Medical University, Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan. Aynur Kayrkenovna Yishmanova, Candidate of Medical Science, Associate Professor, Acting Professor of the Department General Medical Practice number 1, Asfandiarov Kazakh National Medical University, Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan. She is attending online. Islam Nadiarovich Salikhanov, PhD, Clinical Researcher, University Hospital Basel, Switzerland, attending online also. Thus, according to the attendance sheet, all 7 members of the Dissertation Council are present. Today, quorum is met. I hereby declare the session of the Dissertation Council held under Protocol number 2 at West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University for the educational program 8D 100-101, Public Health open and ready to proceed. On today's agenda, the defense of the dissertation for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова on the topic medical and social needs for the older people based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan within the framework on the educational program AT 1101 Public Health. The dissertation was carried out at the Department of Public Health and Healthcare for the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University. The dissertation is present in format of dissertation monograph. The language of the defense is English. Scientific advisors: Sultanova Gulnar Dostanovna, candidate of medical science, dean of the faculties of dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, public health and preventive medicine at the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, October, Republic of Kazakhstan. Yermukhanova Lyudmila Sergeyevna, candidate of medical science, associate professor, head of the Department of Public Health and Healthcare at the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, October, Republic of Kazakhstan. Aimbetova Gulshara Yergaziyevna, candidate of medical science, associate professor, professor at the Department of Public Health, Asfandyar Kazakh National Medical University, Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan. Katarzyna Vecherovska-Dobis, MD, PhD, head of the Department of Palliative Medicine, Geriatric Unit, Poznan University of Medical Science, Poznan, Poland, is absent for a valid reason. Official reviewers: Glushkova Natalia Yegorovna, PhD, professor, director of the Health Research Institute at the Al-Farabi, Kazakh National University, Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan, is present online. Bulatova Janirki Yerlanovna, PhD, associate professor at the School of Public Health, Karaganda Medical University, Karaganda, Republic of Kazakhstan. Allow me also to introduce the interpreter for today's session, Aliya Karibna Zhalkibekova. The floor is given to the academic secretary of the Dissertation Council, Soviet Tajidina Tajbenova, to announce the list of the documents submitted by the doctoral candidate. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, highly respected Chair, esteemed members of the Dissertation Council. The personal life of the doctoral candidate Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова contains all the documents required by the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of science and higher education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. All documents have been submitted on time. Allow me to present her academic profile. Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова graduated in 2015 from West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов State Medical University with a degree in public health. That same year, she was awarded the prestigious Bolashak scholarship and successfully completed the master's degree at one of the United Kingdom's leading institutions, University College London. In 2018, after earning her master's degree, she began working as a lecturer at the Department of Public Health and Healthcare. From 2019 to 2023, she pursued doctoral studies in the Public Health Educational Program at West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University. Her dissertation research titled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People, based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire, was conducted within the framework of the National Scientific and Technical Project Improvement of Geriatric and Gerontological Care in the Republic of Kazakhstan, funded by the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan. During the course of her doctoral studies, she completed a research internship at City Polyclinic No. 1 in October and participated in an online research placement at Poznan University of Medical Sciences in Poland. As part of her dissertation work, Kerбез Наушаевна has published 5 scientific papers, including one in an international peer-reviewed journal and 2 in journals from the second list recommended by Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of science and higher education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. She has also presented 2 papers at international scientific conferences. Furthermore, she holds official implementation acts integrating her research findings into practical healthcare settings and educational processes. And she is the author of the methodological recommendation. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions regarding the personal file of candidate? There are no questions. The floor is given now to the doctoral candidate, Кербез Наушаевна Киматова, to present the main points of your dissertation. You have 20 minutes to present key findings of the
Dear Chair and dear members of the Dissertation Council, allow me to present you my dissertation work titled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan. The world population is aging rapidly. According to the projections by the World Health Organization, the number of people aged 65 and older will more than double from 761 million to 1.6 billion by 2050. While in 1950, only 1 in 20 people worldwide was aged 65 and older, by 2050, this age group will account for 1 in 7 people. A similar demographic aging trend is observed in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Based on predictive population pyramids for Kazakhstan for the years 1950, 2020, and 2050, a clear tendency toward population aging can be traced. As the global population ages, healthcare systems are facing increasing pressure. This demographic shift raises critical questions. How should we care for older adults? And how can we reduce the strain on healthcare resources? To address these challenges effectively, we must begin with the proper assessment of older adults' needs. Tools such as EASYCare enable us to evaluate functional status, design targeted geriatric care, and allocate resources more efficiently. Thus, the aim of the study was to identify and analyze the medical and social needs of older adults using the EASYCare questionnaire, taking into account their physical, psychosocial, and functional states. To achieve this aim, the following objectives were set. First, to adopt and validate EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Kazakh and the Russian languages to ensure its applicability and reliability in the context of Kazakhstan. Second, to identify medical and social needs of older adults based on a standardized assessment of all of their physical, psychosocial, and functional states. Third, to identify and analyze the factors influencing the formation of these needs among older adults. And the last, to develop practical recommendations for improving the system of medical and social monitoring and support for older people based on the results of the conducted research. Scientific novelty of the study is that it's the first use of EASYCare in Kazakhstan. We conducted linguistic and cultural adaptation of this tool and applied modern statistical methods, correlated results with established scales like Bartle and Lawton. This brings new scientific value to geriatric assessment in our country. The study carries important theoretical and practical significance. Firstly, it represents the first validation of EASYCare Standard 2010 in Kazakhstan, which expands our national geriatric assessment framework and makes the international tool locally relevant. Secondly, it promotes a holistic view of aging, considering physical, psychosocial, and functional dimensions rather than only medical needs. And thirdly, study also identifies key social determinants such as age, education, income, and region that shape all of older adults' needs. In terms of practical significance, the tool generates key scores such as independence score, risk of breakdown in K, and risk of falls. This allows us for targeted, personalized interventions. And also, findings of our study shaped methodological recommendations to improve seniors' independence and well-being, implemented in 3 large polyclinics in Aktobe city, and also they were shared via nurse masterclass on fall prevention. Also, these methodological recommendations were included in educational program for nursing to enhance the training and gerontology in professional practice. Key findings for defense: the adaptation and the validation of the EASYCare Standard 2010 in the Kazakh and Russian enabled the first implementation of this international tool in Kazakhstan, ensuring its reliability and local applicability. Major medical and social needs of all the adults were identified, including risk of functional dependence, falls, КеА breakdowns, limited social support, and financial constraints. Key findings, key influencing factors such as age, education level, financial states, and the marital states were found to play a central role in shaping the needs of all the adults and must be considered in program planning. The research findings can also be used to adjust existing geriatric care programs and make additions to the national health policy, which will improve the availability and the quality of medical and social support for the elderly in Kazakhstan. This study employed a cross-sectional research design. The methodological framework was structured around 4 key objectives. The first stage involved the linguistic and cultural adaptation of the tool. The second stage included a large-scale survey with 100 older adults residing in 4 cities, Shymkent and Kızıldağ in the southern region, and Uralsk and Aktobe in the western region. At the third stage, both univariate and multivariate regression analysis were conducted to identify main predictors influencing these needs. And the final stage of the study consisted of synthesizing and interpreting the findings from the previous 3 stages of the research, and to draw evidence-based conclusions and the recommendations. The EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire is designed to assess all the people's needs. It includes 7 domains. These domains are seeing, hearing, communication. Second, looking after yourself. Third, mobility, staying healthy, mental health and well-being, safety, accommodation, and finances. EASYCare Standard 2010 calculates 3 main indexes, which are based on selected items across its 7 domains. The first index is independence score. This score reflects how independently an older person can perform daily activities such as dressing, grooming, having meals, moving around, and managing finances. Score range from 0 to 100. The highest score means the higher risk of dependence. Second index is a risk of breakdown in care. This index estimates the likelihood of hospitalization and care disruption. It's based on difficulties in bathing, toileting, as well as indicators like general health. Score range from 0 to 12. A higher score signals a higher risk of breakdown in care. And the third index is a risk of falls. This score reflects the likelihood of falling of older people. This based on mobility issues, food problems, and perceived safety at home and outside, and also the number of falls in the past 12 months. Score range from 0 to 8. A score 3 and higher indicates higher risk of falls. Moving to the results part. The Cohen-Kappa coefficient for the Kazakh version of the questionnaire ranged from 0.81 to 0.95, and for the Russian version from 0.89 to 0.99. These results indicate a high level of agreement across its all 7 domains and confirm the reliability of the EASYCare tool. A correlation analysis was conducted between EASYCare indices and the reference scales, the Bartle index and the Lowell scale. For both Kazakh and the Russian versions, high and statistically significant correlation coefficients were obtained. These results confirm the validity of the EASYCare as a reliable instrument for assessing all the people's functional independence and risk levels in all the adults. Social demographic characteristics of participants revealed that the majority of respondents in our study, around 80%, were aged from 65 to 74, with a predominance of women, which consists around 77%, which reflects demographic trend showing that a higher life expectancy among women in Kazakhstan. A considerable share, around 47%, lived with big families, indicating the preservation of traditional family values in Kazakhstan. However, a significant portion of participants reported financial difficulties. It's around 43.6%, potentially affecting their access to health care and social support. Summary needs of assessment findings revealed that the highest levels of needs among all the adults were in the areas of physical health and mental well-being, domains 6 and 7, with over half of respondents reporting needs in these sections, 53% and 48% respectively. And the significant needs were also observed in self-care and mobility, indicating challenges among all the people in hygiene, dressing and moving around, all of which are crucial for maintaining independence. Needs related to seeing, hearing, and the safety, accommodation, finances were less pronounced, but still affected from 35 to 38% of participants. Overall, these findings underscore the widespread presence of medical and social needs among all the people. Index-based assessment results showed that the index independence score averaged 11.3 plus minus 30.1, reflecting a wide range of functional autonomy. This index shows that all people in Kazakhstan are relatively independent. The risk of breakdown in care index was 2.9 plus minus 2.3, suggesting that many respondents had factors that may lead to hospitalization and care disruption. The risk of falls index averaged 1.9 plus minus 1.7, indicating a considerable potential for injury due to falls among participants. Univariable analysis was performed to identify factors that were associated with three main indexes of EASYCare Standard questionnaire, and the variables that showed statistically significant associations in this analysis were subsequently added in the multivariable analysis to determine their independent influence on the outcomes. And the multivariable regression model showed that a decline in independence was significantly associated with age, education level, region of residence. Individuals 75 and older had a 40% higher risk reduced in independence compared to those aged 65 to 74. A low-level education was a strong predictor of functional dependence. Those with primary education had a 52% higher risk than those with secondary education, and 89% higher risk compared to individuals with higher education. Region also played a significant role. Respondents from the southern Kazakhstan were 58% more likely to experience reduced independence compared to those from the western region. Risk of breakdown in care. Multivariable logistic regression analysis revealed that the age was the only statistically significant predictor for risk of breakdown in care. This result showed that with each increase in age group, the risk increased by 57%, highlighting the strong association between advanced age and the likelihood of care disruption and hospitalization. Multivariable regression analysis identified several predictors for risk of falls. Marital status played a protective role. Those who were married had significantly lower risk of falls compared to those who were single. Odds ratio equal 1.57 with a 95 confidence interval from 1.07 to 2.23, likely due to emotional and physical support from a spouse. We see that the education level also showed a strong association. Individuals with only primary education had a higher risk of falls compared to those with secondary education and higher education. This highlights the role of education in self-regulation, awareness of fall prevention, and maintaining daily activity. Additionally, financial status had a significant impact. Low income was associated with 1.5 times higher risk of falling, possibly due to access to healthcare, assistive devices, or home safety modifications. Based on the findings, several practical recommendations were developed. We recommend consider the implementation of EASYCare Standard 2010 in clinical practice of general practitioners and geriatricians in Kazakhstan. The indices, independence score, risk of breakdown in care, and risk of falls can serve as screening tool to prioritize interventions in nursing and home-based services. When developing geriatric care programs and allocating resources, it's essential to consider key determinants such as age, education, financial status, and region of residence. We also recommend strengthening social support for older adults, especially those who are living alone, because they are at higher risk of falls and care breakdowns according to the findings of our study. Programs for remote monitoring and targeted outreach should be developed for this age group. Financial status must be included in the vulnerability assessment, as financial insecurity was associated with increased health risks. Educational interventions should be also adapted for older adults with lower educational levels. Materials must be simple, visual, and culturally appropriate, especially for self-care and fall prevention. Finally, further research is needed to better understand the evolving medical and social needs of the elderly and to support the development of evidence-based and active aging programs. Allow me not to read the conclusions as they appear in the abstracts and presented in the presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Kerбез Наушаевна. Are there any questions regarding for the candidate presentation or dissertation?
Can I ask?
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to say very interesting research dissertation and very important results for not only for healthcare system but social system. And one of important your resume is very high level of educational level of Asian population, and at the same time a lot of financial problems. High level means there must be in the many literature level education, more financial independence. Low education, more financial problems. And in your research, most of Asian population has financial difficulties. Why? That's the first question. Secondly, of course, and you covered only West Kazakhstan and South Kazakhstan. And most of Asian people living in North industrial regions in North, Central and Southeast Almaty region. Why you, how to say, avoid this? Even one of us, if you will include your research, will be demonstrate problems in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Now we can say the problems Asian population in West and South Kazakhstan. And third, it's not a question, but your literature review, a lot of foreign articles, reviews, etc. The lack of Republican national reviews, articles. We know a lot of research papers in, of course, in Russian language or Kazakh language, for example, assessment of health status of elderly in Astana. Doshanov and others, or evaluate of health status of elderly in Kazakhstan, or integral palliative care in geriatric care at Dirova, or you not mentioned the standard of geriatric care in Kazakhstan. Yeah, why? Please check your microphone. Yes.
Thank you very much for your questions, Professor Maksud Karimovich. Allow me to answer to your questions. According to the first question, why older people reported financial difficulties as a result of our study? Yes, indeed, a considerable share of participants, around 43%, they reported they have financial difficulties. We think that it's connected to the economical level of our country, and half of the respondents were living alone, not with the big families. Yeah, as we know that when old individuals live with their children, grandchildren, with big families, they have financial and social support from the family, and those who live alone, they have some difficulties with the finances, like a lower level of pensions we have in Kazakhstan. We have to admit that compared to maybe other countries, all the populations, for example, compared to European countries, highly developed European countries or USA, Kazakhstan is a developing country. That's why probably we, the participants, all the ages, all the individuals reported these needs, like financial needs. According to the second question, why we captured participants from the from the west and the southern regions? Yeah, this research has been conducted within the framework of scientific and technical project advancement in gerontological and geriatric care in the Republic of Kazakhstan in 2021. Within the framework of this project, one of the objectives were to focus on these regions because of several reasons. One of them is that it's logistically easier because we are in a western region and we wanted to see the difference between different regions in Kazakhstan, and we decided to pick the southern region, cities Shymkent and Kızıldağ. Even though as you mentioned, in Shymkent and the Kızıldağ, the age index is not so high compared to the country, to the cities from the eastern Kazakhstan or central Kazakhstan. Yeah, Shymkent is one of the biggest urban settings, central settings in Kazakhstan, with a growing number of all the ages. That's why we want to see if there will be any kind of differences in needs among elderly from southern and the western regions. And concerning the third question, we in the literature review we included mostly, as you mentioned, publications from the many other countries, yeah, like European countries, USA, because the number of publications in English and on the databases like Scopus and Web of Science and PubMed, they are limited. We decided to focus mostly on the publications from the highly reputed international journals from these databases. And we do mention the standard on geriatric and gerontological care in Kazakhstan. There is one paragraph about the organization of geriatric and gerontological care in my dissertation. However, even though we have this standard and medical help for older people is well organized in Kazakhstan, we believe that there is still room for the research and question the medical and social help for elderly in Kazakhstan.
Additional question, can I ask additional questions? What it means when you social support? Social support from health system or social support from social ministry, social specialized ministry for social care? Social support. Ministry of Health, as you know now, health policy including primary level social workers. Yeah. What you decided? Might be more from health system or from social system?
Thank you very much for your question. Maksud Karimович, allow me to answer to your question. You did a great point. We think that when we say social support is needed for all people in Kazakhstan, we mean that from both sides, from the healthcare system and from the social services as well. Because according to the literature, the advanced geriatric care means that we need interdisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary team, which includes geriatricians, physicians, like general practitioners, nurses, social support workers, and the family members, formal, informal caregivers, in order to give support for elderly people, because the social support also directly influence to the health, physical health of old people as well.
I satisfied.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, any other questions, please?
If I could join the discussion and ask some questions.
Yes, Professor, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, first of all, for presentation. It was really very good and very clear. But I would like to ask some questions. First, my question is, did you use the same respondents' inclusion criteria for the first and the second objective of your study?
Professor, could you please repeat the question?
My question was, did you use the same inclusion criteria for respondents for the first and second objective of the study?
Thank you very much for your question, Professor. Allow me to answer.
Please.
Yes, the inclusion criteria for the participants of our study for the first objective and the second objects were the same. First object was about the validation study. Yeah? We did a validation pilot study to validate EASYCare in Kazakh and the Russian languages. And in the second objective, so we did a main data collection with the EASYCare Standard questionnaire, and the inclusion criteria was the same. Inclusion criteria was the age, 65 and older, and patients without severe cognitive impairments were included in the study.
Yeah, and then comes the next question. Do you think if you included, of course, for the second objective, cognitively impaired persons, would be the results of your study a bit different ones?
Thank you very much for your question, Professor. Indeed, by excluding those with cognitive impairment, we think that we could exclude the maybe majority, not majority, but many respondents, many potential participants for our study. That's why we cannot generalize our findings to the entire elderly population in Kazakhstan because of the presence of selection bias. And we believe that the findings would be different if we have included those with cognitive impairments.
I see. Okay, and next question is on the time of the study. As I understood, your study was performed during COVID-19 period. Is it right?
Yes, absolutely.
Then again, the same question, could the results be different if you made your study in 2018 or 2022 or 23? What do you think?
Thank you very much.
Especially on independence level of elderly people.
Thank you very much for your question, Professor. Let me to answer. Yes, indeed, the data collection period came along with the COVID-19 pandemic. That was a real challenge for us to recruit the participants. And the research team worked on that within the framework of scientific project. And because of this coincidence, we believe that the majority of all the people were left out again in our study. As I mentioned earlier, the biggest proportion of participants in our study were aged from 65 to 74, which contains around 80% of participants. That's why probably we had the results that we have now, like the independence score relatively not so high, yeah. So, which means that all the people are relatively independent. If we did this study, for example, these days, yeah, in 2023, maybe we could receive different results. We believe probably the independence score would be higher, and the risk of breakdown and the risk of falls probably also will be higher, because as we mentioned, the age was association with the risk of breakdown in care and the risk of falls as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Professor, are you satisfied with the doctoral candidate response?
Sure, thank you. That's fine.
There are any questions to your colleagues? Okay, I have questions too. In your view, how to implement the EASYCare questionnaire in the everyday practice of primary healthcare workers in our country, in Kazakhstan?
Thank you very much for your question, Oljas Narlanovich. Allow me to answer. Yes, in our recommendations, we suggest to consider the implementation of EASYCare in practical healthcare system in Kazakhstan, because it revealed good potential for the implementation of this tool in Kazakhstan, and also there are examples of integration of this tool in primary healthcare settings in Netherlands and the United Kingdom in practical healthcare, and they also reveal the great results. So we believe that if we will receive the official permission for the use of EASYCare in practical healthcare settings, in this aim, we can consider the implementation of this tool. We believe that it will allow us to early detect the needs of older people in terms of identifying these risks, independence score, risk of breakdown and risk of falls. So we can consider the implementation of EASYCare.
Thank you. And the second one, what significant differences did you observe in needs between urban and rural elderly populations?
Thank you very much for your question, Oljas Narlanovich. There was no big statistically significant difference between rural and the urban population in needs in participants from urban and rural populations.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, colleagues, are there any questions regarding the dissertation?
Мен бір сұрағымды қойсам, позвольте на русском языке задать вопрос.
Да, пожалуйста, конечно.
Вот, Кербез Наушаевна, по 4-й задаче вы рекомендуете внедрить в клиническую практику опросник. Сколько минут занимает сам опросник, чтобы получить уже выводы и заключения мог сделать гериатр или врач ВОП? И насколько можно применить уже в нынешней ситуации? Потому что сейчас в Казахстане много открываются гериатрические кабинеты. И скажите вопрос такой, насколько практически применим этот опросник в нынешних реалиях в МСП, учитывая лимитированность времени?
Пожалуйста, Олег Алиевна, по протоколу нужно перевод.
Диа Кербез Наушаевна. Диа Кербез Наушаевна. We have one question. Answer, please. In your recommendation, you recommend to implement your tools, EASYCare 2010, to the practice. Answer, please. How many minutes it took, and is it possible in our time to implement it into the practice? Because the geriatric care nowadays is improvement in our polyclinics, and that is why how is it useful for nowadays, and is it take a lot of time or not? Because as you know, the general practitioner is very busy now, and is it useful for use it now?
Thank you very much for your question. I can thank you for your translation, Olga Aliyevna. Allow me to answer to your question. The fulfillment of the questionnaire takes around 20 to 30 minutes. In order to implement this questionnaire, we believe that first we need to teach geriatricians, general practitioners and nurses how to use this tool first. And in second point, I want to mention that in a study conducted in Poland, it was proven that all people can fill this questionnaire by themselves. And these results revealed that the questionnaires filled by all the people by themselves were almost the same as the results received when these questionnaires were filled by all the people under the guidance of nurses and the general practitioners. Which means that all the people by themselves can fill this questionnaire, and nurses can use the results. However, we believe that we need further research to implement this EASYCare in practical healthcare. Maybe to do a pilot study first. Thank you. Do you need to?
Okay, can we удовлетворены ответом докторанта? Или вам? Да, давайте.
Уважаемые, разрешите предоставить вам ответ. Заполнение этого инструмента занимает около 20 минут. Но в первую очередь мы должны обучить врачей и пациентов, как правильно работать с этим инструментом. Например, по примеру Польши, в Польше пациенты заполняют данный инструмент самостоятельно, и поэтому самостоятельно под присмотром медсестер и врачей, и поэтому затем медсестры используют данный результат, который заполнен самостоятельно пациентом. И в будущем докторант планирует провести исследование, в которое они будут именно внедрять данный инструмент уже в практическое применение.
Спасибо. If there are no any questions, let us proceed to the next stage of our session. Thank you. The floor is given to the scientific advisor of the doctoral candidate of medical science, Dean of the faculties of dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, public health and preventive medicine at the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, Gulnar Dastanovna Sultanova.
Good day, dear Chair and all members of the Dissertation Council. Allow me to read the review on the doctoral dissertation by Кербез Киматова. The doctoral dissertation of Кербез Наушаевна Киматова is devoted a highly relevant and socially significant topic focused on studying of the older adults. In the context of demographic aging and healthcare system modernization, this research is of great importance for the development of geriatric services and the improvement of medical and social support for the elderly population of Kazakhstan. During her doctoral studies, Кербез Наушаевна Киматова proved herself to be a talented, hardworking, and disciplined researcher. She demonstrated a high level on responsibility, organization skills, and a strong commitment to academic growth. Кербез Наушаевна actively participated in international conferences. She received recognition and awards including Young for the Best Scientific, York among Young Research at the EASYCare Annual International Scientific and Practical Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan in 2023. She continually enhanced her scientific competences and showed initiative in discussing research issues. Кербез Наушаевна organized and conducted all stages of the study, including the pilot study, mind survey, data processing and analysis, as well as the writing of all dissertation sections. The results of her work have practical value and can be used in long-term care planning, the development of healthy aging programs, and in educational and research activities. Based on the above, I believe that the dissertation of Кербез Наушаевна Киматова meets the establishing requirements doctoral dissertations, PhD, in the specialty public health, and she deserves the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Thank you.
Thank you, Gulnar Dastanov, for your reference. The floor is given to the second scientific advisor of the doctoral candidate of medical science, associate professor, head of the Department of Public Health and Healthcare at West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, Сергей Емуханова.
Добрый день, уважаемый председатель, уважаемые члены Диссертационного Совета. Разрешите зачитать отзыв на диссертационную работу Киматовой Кербез Наушаевны на тему медико-социальной потребности пожилых людей на основе анкеты EASYCare Standard 2010 Республики Казахстан. Киматова Кербез Наушаевна окончила Западно-Казахстанский государственный медицинский университет имени Марата Оспанова в 2015 году по специальности общественное здравоохранение. В 2017-2018 годах проходила обучение в магистратуре одного из ведущих университетов Великобритании, Университет колледж Лондон, по программе «Булашак». С ноября 2018 года работает на кафедре общественное здоровье и здравоохранения в должности старшего преподавателя. В 2019 году поступила в докторантуру по образовательной программе 8D-10101 «Общественное здравоохранение», успешно и в срок освоила курс профильных базовых дисциплин, продемонстрировав высокий уровень подготовки и отличные академические результаты.
Dear Dear Chair, members of the Dissertational Council, allow me to give a review of the dissertational work of Кербез Наушаевна Киматова titled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Submitted of the degree of the Doctor of Philosophy under the educational program 8D 10-101 Public Health. Кербез Наушаевна Киматова graduated from West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов State Medical University in 2015 with a КеА degree in Public Health. In 2017-2018, she pursued the Master Studies at University College London in the United Kingdom under the Bolashak Scholarship Program. Since November 2018, she has been working at the Department of Public Health and Healthcare as a senior lecturer. In 2019, she was admitted to the doctoral program in 8D 10-101 Public Health, where she successfully and on time completed the required coursework, demonstrating a high level of academic preparation and excellent academic performance.
В ходе обучения Киматова Кербез зарекомендовала себя как целеустремленный, ответственный, высоко мотивированный исследователь. Ее отличает глубокий интерес к науке, высокая степень самостоятельности, аналитическое мышление и академическая добросовестность. Обладая высоким уровнем эмоционального интеллекта и эмпатии, она легко устанавливает контакт с коллегами, участниками исследований, что особенно важно для специалистов в области общественного здравоохранения.
During the doctoral studies, Кербез Киматова provided herself to be goal-oriented, responsible, and highly motivated researcher. She demonstrates a deep interest in science and high degree of independence, analytical thinking, and academical integrity. With a high level of emotional intelligence and empathy, she easily builds rapport with the colleagues and study participants, which is especially important for specialists in the field of public health.
Диссертационная работа Киматовой посвящена актуальной и социально значимой теме изучения медико-социальных потребностей лиц пожилого возраста с использованием международного признанного инструмента оценки EASYCare Standard 2010. В условиях стремительного демографического старения населения и трансформации системы здравоохранения Республики Казахстан данное исследование имеет важное практическое значение для развития гериатрической службы и совершенствования системы долговременного ухода.
Her dissertation is devoted to a highly relevant and social significant topic, the study of the medical and social needs of older people using the internationally recognized assessment tools, the EASYCare Standard 2010. Given the rapid demographic aging of the population and transformation of the healthcare system in the Republic of Kazakhstan, this research carried significant practical value for the development of geriatric services and the improvement of the long-term care system.
Киматова и Кербез Наушаевна были организованы и проведены все этапы научного исследования, от адаптации инструмента до обработки и анализа полученных данных. Она самостоятельно подготовила все разделы диссертации, активно участвовала в научно-публикационной деятельности, выступала на конференциях различного уровня, опубликовала 2 статьи в журналах, рекомендованных Комитетом по контролю в сфере образования и науки Республики Казахстан и 1 в международном журнале, индексируемом базам Scopus Web of Science, что соответствует требованиям для допуска к защите.
Кербез Киматова organized and carried out all stages of the research, from the adaptation of the tool to data processing and analyzing. She independently prepared all sections of the dissertation, actively engaged in scientific publication, presented at conferences of various levels, and publishing 2 articles in journals recommended by the Committee for Quality Assurance and Education in Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan, and 1 article in international journals indexed in the Scopus Web of Science Q2, meeting the eligibility requirements for dissertation defense.
Результаты ее диссертационного исследования обладают высокой практической значимостью и могут быть использованы при разработке программ по активному долголетию, формировании системы долговременного ухода, а также в образовательной исследовательской деятельности в области гериатрии и общественного здравоохранения.
The result of her dissertation research are of highly practical relevance and can be used in the development of active aging program, long-term care, as well as in educational and research activities in the field of geriatrics and public health.
Учитывая актуальность, научную новизну, практическую значимость и высокий уровень выполнения работы, считаю, что диссертация Киматовой Кербез Наушаевны соответствует требованиям, предъявляемым диссертациям на соискание степени доктора философии PhD по специальности 8D 10101 «Общественное здравоохранение» и может быть представлена к официальной защите. Научный консультант, кандидат медицинских наук, ассоциированный профессор Ермуханова Людмила Сергеевна. Спасибо за внимание.
Considering the relevant scientific novelty, practical importance, and the high level of exclusion, I believe that the dissertation of Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова meets the requirement for the award of the degree of Doctoral of Philosophy PhD in the specialty HD 10101. Candidate of Scientific Medicine, Associated Professor Ермуханова Людмила Сергеевна. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, Людмила Сергеевна, for your reference. Thank you, Alekari, for the translation. We now invite the third scientific advisor for the doctoral candidate of medical science, associate professor of the Department of Public Health at Kazakh National Medical University, Almaty, Gulshara Yagaziyevna Imbetova. You are welcome.
Добрый день, уважаемый председатель, члены Диссертационного Совета, уважаемые присутствующие, благодарю за предоставленное слово. Позвольте представить отзыв о докторанте Киматовой Кербез Наушаевне. Не буду говорить, повторять уже сказанные моими уважаемыми коллегами слова Марата Оспанова и Людмилы Сергеевны. Позвольте добавить несколько слов. С момента поступления в докторантуру Кербез Наушаевна зарекомендовалась как ответственный, дисциплинированный, трудолюбивый и инициативный исследователь. Она проявила высокую степень самостоятельности, преданности научной работе. За годы обучения я узнала как человека науки, для которого исследовательская деятельность является не просто обязанностью, а призванием именно этого человека. Ее диссертационная работа представляет собой завершенное самостоятельное научное исследование, обладает высокой практической и теоретической значимостью, достаточно актуальные вопросы для Республики Казахстан и вносят существенный вклад в дальнейшее развитие системы здравоохранения нашего государства и за его пределы. Прошу Диссертационный совет поддержать кандидатуру Кербез Наушаевны и ходатайствовать о присуждении степени доктора философии перед Комитетом по обеспечению качества в сфере образования. Благодарю за внимание.
Dear Chair and esteemed members of the Dissertational Council, dear guests, allow me to present my review of the doctoral candidate Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова. I will not repeat what has already been eloquently expressed by my respected colleagues Marata Оспанова and Людмила Сергеевна, but I would like to add a few words of my own. Since the beginning of her doctoral studies, Kerбез Наушаевна has proven herself to be a responsible, disciplined, hardworking, and proactive researcher. She has demonstrated a high level of independence and deep commitment to scientific work. Throughout the years of our collaboration, I have come to know her as a true academic for whom research is not merely a duty but a calling. Her dissertation is a completed and independent scientific study with significant theoretical and practical value. The findings make a meaningful contribution to the advancement of science not only within the Republic of Kazakhstan but also internationally. I respectfully ask the Dissertational Council to support Kerбез Наушаевna's candidacy and to petition to the committee for the award of the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Gulshara Yagaziyevna, for the reference provided. Thank you, Alekari, for your translation. We now turn to the academic secretary of the Dissertation Council, Solly Tajidina, to read the reference letter from the International Scientific Advisor of the doctoral candidate, MD PhD head of the Department of Palliative Medicine, Geriatrics Division, Poznan University of Medical Science, Poznan, Poland, Katarzyna Wiczorowska-Tobis. You're welcome.
Review by the foreign supervisor of the dissertation of Киматова Кербез Наушаевна, titled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan, submitted for the PhD degree in the educational program Public Health. Киматова Кербез Наушаевна began her PhD studies in 2019. From the very beginning, we started working together on research dedicated to the medical and social needs of older people in Kazakhstan, a topic that remains unexplored not only in Kazakhstan, but also across Central Asia. In this study, for the first time in Kazakhstan, the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire was used to comprehensively assess and medical and social needs of the elderly population. This allowed us to obtain valuable insights into their health and social care requirements. Throughout this year of collaboration, Kerбез Наушаевна has proven herself to be a highly responsible and dedicated researcher. I am confident in her ability to continue as an independent scientist, and I fully support her academic development. The dissertation titled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan represents a significant and well-completed work that contributes to the advancement of knowledge and data in the field of geriatric and gerontological care in Kazakhstan. I believe that the methodological recommendations developed in this dissertation will provide practical benefits, helping many older adults in Kazakhstan to maintain their health and independence for as long as possible. Therefore, I strongly recommend this dissertation of Киматова Кербез Наушаевна titled Medical and Social Needs of Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan for public defense as part of the PhD degree requirements in the educational program Public Health. Professor Katarzyna Wyczerowska-Tobis. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sobli Tajidinina. We now call upon to the first official reviewer, PhD professor, director of the Health Research Institute at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, Almaty, Natalia Yegorovna Lushkova.
Dear colleagues, dear chairman, first of all, it's a big honor for me to participate in such an excellent PhD defense mission. And I was really proud to be a reviewer of such a brilliant doctoral student work. So let me provide you with my official review to the dissertation of Kimatowa Kerбез titled Medical and Social Needs people based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan, submitted under the educational programs 8, the 101 and 01 public health for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. According to the first criteria, the compliance with priority areas of the scientific development of our state programs. It's totally compliant with, and the education work was conducted within the framework of scientific and technical project, including pediatric and gerontological care in the Republic of Kazakhstan, and was founded by the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan, 1809-783, and the dissertation corresponds to the priority direction of science development approved by the Higher Scientific and Technical Commission under the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan in a limited direction of applied science. According to the second criteria, the work makes a significant contribution to the science, and its importance is well demonstrated. Because the dissertation makes a significant contribution to the science, as it presents for the first time in the Republic of Kazakhstan the standard adaptation and validation of international instrument EASYCare Standard 2010 for comprehensive pediatric assessment in the Kazakh and Russian languages. The study provides a thorough analysis of medical and social needs of elderly people, using a scientifically grounded and standard-based approach. And the importance of the research topic is well demonstrated and also clearly outline the relevance of study and the context of greater population and aging and the shortage of geriatric services in our republic. And according to the fourth principle of independence, the level of independence is really high because the doctoral candidate demonstrates a high level of independence in the conducting of her research. All stages of the dissertation, from the design of the study and ethical approvals to the data collection, the statistical analysis, interpretation of results, and manuscript preparation, were carried out independently by the author. She took initiative in the adoption and validation and international geriatric assessment tool to the local context, to the national level, and actively engaged with the national and international collaboration and ensure to the practical application of the country. The work reflects maturity, critical thinking, and strong commitment to the scientific rigor. According to the fourth principle of internal unity is totally justified because the relevance of dissertation is well justified, and author clearly demonstrates the significance of studying of medical and social needs in elderly population. And dissertation aligned with national public health priorities and contributes to improvement of health care claims in Kazakhstan. And it's well supported by the international and national data. And also, the content of dissertation reflects the topic of dissertation. It's totally true, because the content of dissertation is well structured and logically associated with the objectives. And author consistently maintains focus on the central theme, the medical and social needs of elderly people in Kazakhstan. And it was used EASYCare Standard 2010. Because of this work. The analysis findings are coherent with the research questions, demonstrating a high level of thematic consistency. The aim and objectives correspond to the dissertation topic fully, because each objective contributes to a comprehensive exploration of medical and social needs of elderly population and are all effectively integrated to the dissertation. This alignment ensures the research is purposeful, focused, and methodologically sound. All sections and provisions of dissertation are logically fully interconnected, because that structure of the work is coherent and consistent, with each part building previous ones, building on previous ones, and contributing to the overall research aim. And the author proposed new solutions and principles, and it makes critical analysis is present, because all approaches in the work and methodological adaptations have a clear and well-reasoned critical analysis. The authors provide original perspectives supported by empirical evidence and reflects on the practical applicability of the proposed solution, demonstrating strong concept of the subject matter and analytical thinking. So the fifth principle about scientific novelty is totally and completely new, because it is a first study in Kazakhstan to adopt, validate internationally recognized EASYCare Standard tool for assessing the needs of older adults and systematically evaluate the medical and social needs in elderly population using this instrument. The originality of the research lies in both the methodological innovation and the practical recommendation developed based on a large-scale study. These results contribute to new knowledge to the field of gerontology and public health, both nationally and internationally. And the conclusion is totally and completely new. because they are based on original empirical research and reflect findings that have not been previously documented in the context of Kazakhstan. The authors present evidence-based insights into the health and social care needs in elderly population, as well as applicability of EASYCare Standard tool in the national state. These conclusions offer new direction for public health planning and policy, making a substantial contribution to pediatric research and healthcare system engineering, as well as technical and technological, economical, or management solutions are totally new and well justified. Because all these solutions proposed in this dissertation are completely new and well justified, the author offers regional recommendations for improving pediatric service delivery in Kazakhstan. According to the justification of the conclusion, it should be noted that it is totally based on scientifically valid evidence and well justified. Because that the author uses a robust combination of quantitative analysis and literature synthesis to support each conclusion. The findings are logically derived from the research objectives and are through appropriate statistical methods and comparisons with existing scientific literature. This evidential grounding ensures the reliability and credibility of the conclusions drawn. According to the second criteria, it should be noted that all following questions, key statements submitted to defense totally proven because of adaptation and validation of new tools to Kazakh and Russian languages. And it made possible to introduce an international tool for assessing the medical and social needs of older people in the first time in Kazakhstan, which ensures its reliability. And all statements is not trivial because the research results can be used as just existing geriatric care programs and estimate additions to the national health policy, which will improve the availability and quality of medical and social support for elderly people in Kazakhstan. All statements is totally proven, and first statement is convincingly proven in both the dissertation and the article also. The validation process was carried out with methodological rigor, and the results showed high reliability and of the localized tool. This first such adaptation in Kazakhstan, making high contribution, and it was totally original. The second statement on the defense is fully supported by quantitative factors presented in the article in dissertation using EASYCare framework. The author identified prevalent geriatric risks and have not been systematic, what was previously had not been systematically documented. And through multivariate regression and comparative analysis, the author clearly demonstrates how socioeconomic demographic variables influence elderly. And fourth statement reflects the applied value of research, while the both viewed empirical proof and the findings strongly justify the proposed policy implication. And according to the eighth principle, it's about how well justified methodology and how it was sufficiently described. It's totally yes, that it was sufficient. The choice of methodology is in the dissertation is well justified and it's very well described. The author provides a clear rationale for selecting of methodology and especially EASYCare tools. And as well as the result of dissertation were obtained using modern scientific research methods and techniques of data processing and interpretation. It's not to be true, because the results were obtained using modern methods, and the author used different statistical tools, validated international instruments, and applied even multivariate methods, including regression analysis and correlation matrices. And Also, theoretical conclusions, models, and all relationships and patterns were really good proven, because the study is based on quantitative analysis of real-world data collected from the representative sample of all results. The typical methods were applied for the differentiation between social demographic factors and health-related needs, establishing reliable patterns. And important statements are confirmed because the author extensively cites very good sourcing, international sources, good publications by the World Health Organization and international research on geriatric assessment tools and studies on population aging. All references are well collected and up to date. And literature sources are used totally sufficient because it's totally new and ensure that the review is both scientifically grounded and conceptually relevant, providing a strong foundation for the research problem and adoption. And according to the 9th principle of practical value, the dissertation had very well theoretical significance, because all of these results contribute to the scientific understanding of geriatric assessment and population aging by that and validating the internationally recognized EASYCare Standard 2010 for use in Kazakhstan. The study advanced theoretical models of needs-based assessment in elderly population, integrates global public health framework into local research. And dissertation has also practical significance in there is and there's a high possibility of planning and obtain results in practice. It is clear because the dissertation has clear practical significance, and the validated EASYCare Standard 2 adopted for Kazakhstan healthcare context can be directly implemented in primary care. And so, services definitely to accept the needs of older adults. Additionally, the findings provide evidence-based recommendations that can form national health policy to improve geriatric service delivery and support the development of targeted programs for elderly care. And practical recommendations are completely new. These recommendations have not previously been implemented or systematically studied in the national context, which underscores their innovation and value for public health services. And according to the 10 criteria, quality of writing and formatting is totally high. And I don't have special comments to the dissertation because the work meets the requirement academic standards and it is totally ready for defense. And according to scientific level, it's totally high. And my decision as official reviewer, based on thorough analysis of the dissertation devoted to the study of the medical and social needs of older adults in the Republic of Kazakhstan, I conclude that work fully meets of scientific standards required for a PhD level dissertation. The findings presented hold significant scientific and practical value for the advancement of national healthcare system. The dissertation of Kerbez Naушаевна Киматова merits a positive evaluation, and I petition to the Committee for the Quality Assurance in the field of science and higher education, the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, to award the doctoral candidate the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalia Gorovna, for your review. The floor is now given to the doctoral candidate to respond to the review's comments and to present conclusions based on their recommendations.
Dear Professor, Natalia Gorovna, thank you sincerely for your thorough review and the valuable feedback on my dissertation. Your expert evaluation and the professional insights have greatly enriched the quality of my work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The floor is now given to the second official reviewer, PhD Associate Professor at the School of Public Health, Karaganda Medical University, Karaganda, Republic of Kazakhstan, Жанирки Ирлановна Булатова.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear Chairman and members of Dissertation Council. Let me not to read the full review, and I will try to highlight the main points of criteria. Yes. Regarding to the first criteria, the dissertation research was conducted within the framework of the scientific and technical project Improving Geriatric and Gerontological Care in the Republic of Kazakhstan. It was funded by the Ministry of Education and Sciences of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Also, the dissertation corresponds to the priority direction of science development called life science. Regarding to the second criteria, the work makes a significant contribution to science, and its importance is well demonstrated. The dissertation addresses a critical gap in assessing the medical and social needs of older adults in Kazakhstan using globally recognized terms. Third criteria, principle of independence. The PhD candidate demonstrated a high level of independence from the development of the study design till interpretation, indicating strong research autonomy and academic maturity. Regarding to the fourth criteria, the relevance of the dissertations is convincingly justified through a comprehensive analysis of demographic trends, healthcare system needs, and the lack of standardized geriatric assessment tools in Kazakhstan. Dissertation content is fully aligned with its state topic. Each section consistently addresses the medical and social needs of older people. The aim and objectives of the dissertation fully correspond to its topic. They are clearly formulated and logically structured to address the core research questions. The dissertation demonstrates strong internal coherence. Each chapter builds logically, ensuring smooth progression from theoretical framework to conclusions. The dissertation demonstrates a strong critical analysis comparing the EASYCare Standard 2010 with other assessment tools. Regarding fifth criteria, the dissertation presents original findings on the medical and social needs of older adults in Kazakhstan using the EASYCare Standard 2010, which had not been previously adopted or validated. The conclusions are based on original research findings and reflect a new understanding of geriatric population's needs in Kazakhstan. The managerial and the organizational implications for integrating geriatric assessment into primary care are well justified and supported by evidence. Regarding to the sixth criteria, the conclusions are firmly grounded in robust quantitative analysis and supported by validated instruments. Regarding seventh criteria, key statements submitted for defense. The statements submitted for defense are proven, not trivial, novel, and have broad applicability. They are supported by evidence published in scientific articles. First, adaptation and validation of EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire into Kazakh and Russian enabled its first use in Kazakhstan for assessing older adults' needs. Second, standardized survey identified key risks of functional dependence, falls, breakdown in care, as well as insufficient social support and financial constraints. Third, the main factors influencing the medical and social needs were found, which as the level of education, age, marital status, and financial situation play a key role. The research results can be used to adjust existing geriatric care programs and make additions to the national health policy, which will improve the availability and quality of medical and social support for elderly in Kazakhstan. Eighth criteria. The methodology is clearly justified and well described. The selection and adaptation of the EASYCare Standard 2010 along with appropriate statistical methods demonstrate a sound and transparent research design designed tailored to the study's objectives. The study employs up-to-date statistical software and validated research tools, ensuring accurate data analysis and interpretation. The theoretical propositions and identified patterns are thoroughly validated through empirical research, including statistical analysis of field data. The dissertation demonstrates a solid foundation in current scientific knowledge with key arguments supported by up-to-date and credible sources. The dissertation is grounded in a comprehensive review of both international and regional sources. Ninth criteria, the research contributes to the theoretical framework of gerontology and public health by contextualizing the EASYCare Standard 2010 within Kazakhstan healthcare system, offering insights into aging, care needs, and health policy development. Based on the findings of the dissertation and supporting scientific publications, methodological recommendations were developed and implemented in urban polyclinics to the city to improve the assessment and care of older adults. Additionally, a master class was conducted among nursing staff on prevention of falls in the elderly. It introduced innovative, context-specific recommendations for integrating comprehensive geriatric assessment into Kazakhstan's healthcare system. The dissertation is written in clear, precise, and well-structured academic language. There was no remarks. The dissertation fully complies with academic requirements and is suitable for public defense. Following the comprehensive review of the dissertation, therefore, I petition the Committee for Quality Assurance in the Field of Science and Higher Education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan to confer upon Киматова Кербез Наушаевна the academic degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janine Erlanova, for your review. And the floor is now given to the doctoral candidate to respond to the review's comments and the present conclusions based on the recommendations.
Dear Dr. Janine Erlanovna, I deeply appreciate your time and the thoughtful comments as an official reviewer. Your constructive suggestions and the support were truly meaningful to me during this important stage of my academic journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, we have heard the doctoral candidate's presentation, the feedback from the scientific advisors and the reviews from reviewers, official reviewers. Let us now proceed the dissertation to discussion by the members of the Dissertation Council. And dear colleagues who would like to speak and share their opinion on this dissertation.
I say a few words.
Yeah, Councillor Karim, you're welcome.
Dear Chair, I would say it's very interesting, important and useful research for health system generally, especially nowadays, where aging is one of problems of our state. It's very important to appear this research in that time when our society dramatically changed, not only aging problem and change of our system generally, and new innovative technology, and artificial intelligence, and one of possibility in the future, more effective use artificial intelligence for life of Asian people. It's very important now. We know a lot of examples in developed countries. I can say, for example, Japan or Western European countries where research in this area stimulate and support artificial intelligence and robotic systems for aging population. It's very important to support in daily life. Secondly, I would say, of course, I ask about the question about regions covered by this research. Of course, now important for Kazakhstan generally, industrial regions where aging population growing, and of course Almaty. And as I mentioned about how to implement this research into practice, especially in Almaty, a lot of people, aging people, living alone. For example, in rural area, I agree. In some western region, yeah, I agree. They live with family, with other relatives, and in Almaty, maybe in Astana, I don't know, but in Almaty, it's really a lot of Asian people living alone. It's a problem. I think that's maybe in the second steps, developing this research, maybe another university will join to this important research, and we need the results. We need to a new level of research in general in our country. Thank you. I personally support this results of this research. Thank you.
Thank you, Maksud Karimovich. Dear colleagues, maybe who would like to share their opinion?
Yeah, I could share if possible.
Yeah, Professor, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. So just a few words. A lot of words has already been said. I very shortly would present my impressions. Today Defense has presented a really comprehensive and timely research project on one of the most pressing demographic challenges of population aging, which seems to be appears in Kazakhstan as well in European countries. So the topic was really brilliant for nowadays issues. The dissertation presents a really detailed analysis of the medical and social needs of older adults, and using EASYCare Standard questionnaire, an international validated tool which for the first time has been adapted and tested in both languages used in Kazakhstan, Kazakh and Russian. And really, the study is notable for methodological accuracy, large-scale data collection across several regions, and integration of statistical analysis to identify key determinants, such as age, education, and financial status. And for me also, the practical significance is very clear. The findings have been already implemented in clinical settings and incorporated into educational programs, making a meaningful contribution to both policy and practice in geriatric care. I just noticed for myself a lot of advantages of this study, like an innovative use of international tool, larger representative sample, relevant statistical analysis, multidisciplinary and comprehensive approach, evidence-based recommendations, and so on and so on. But as usually, as every study, this study has also few limitations or debatable questions, such, for example, as urban-centered sample for EASYCare questionnaire validation or exclusion of cognitively impaired elderly in identifying medical and social needs in the population. But those limitations are just minor ones in comparison with the advantages of the study. And overall, the work demonstrates strong scientific value, practical relevance, and originality. And of course, it may provide a solid foundation for improving health and social support systems for the elderly population in Kazakhstan if politicians will really take care on the study results. Generally, I congratulate Kerbez on the study performed and the defense of dissertation. Thank you very much for possibility of being here and being together with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor Kalivatas. And any opinions? Dear members of the dissertation council, colleagues and guests, today we are reviewing dissertation that addresses the most pressing and socially relevant topics in the field of public health and social medicine. The comprehensive assessment of medical and social needs to the elderly population in Kazakhstan. And we practically interested how the authors adapted the EASYCare questionnaire in Kazakhstan's social and cultural and linguistic context. And to conclude, this dissertation reflects a modern interdisciplinary approach to the elderly care. It offers practical recommendations, contributes to local scientific knowledge, and corresponds to international best practices in the assessment of aging populations. Thank you very much. Okay, if there are no more speakers, the floor is now given to the doctoral candidates, Кербез Наушаевна, for your concluding remarks.
Dear Oljas Nurlanovich, thank you for giving me the floor. Dear Chair of the Dissertation Council, respected members of the Dissertation Council, colleagues, allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to the presentation, public defense, and discussion of my doctoral dissertation. First of all, I would like to thank the Chair of the Board and Director of the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, Talgar Sadabayevich Abilov, the Chair of the Dissertation Council, PhD Associate Professor Oljas Nurlanovich Orazayev, Deputy Chair Professor Saule Kabulayna Bermagambetova, Scientific Secretary PhD Saule Tajdina Tajbenova, and Permanent Council Member PhD Associate Professor Vitenis Kalibats for the opportunity to defend my work before this esteemed Council. My deep appreciation goes to the official reviewers, PhD Professor Natalia Yegorovna Glushkova and PhD Janevkia Irlanovna Bolatovna for their thorough evaluation and valuable feedback. I would also like to thank the temporary members of the Dissertation Council for their support and recognition of the significance of my research. Doctor of Medical Sciences, Professor Maksud Karimovich Kuljanov, Candidate of Medical Sciences, Associate Professor Aynur Kayrkena Yeshmanova, and PhD Islam Nadirovich Salikhanov. I express my sincere gratitude to my scientific supervisors, Candidate of Medical Sciences Gulnar Dastanna Sultanova, Candidate of Medical Sciences Associate Professor Lyudmila Sergeyevna Yermukhanova, and Candidate of Medical Sciences Associate Professor Gulshara Yergazievna Aybetova for their unwavering support and invaluable scientific guidance and mentoring throughout all stages of my doctoral research. I also want to express my heartfelt thanks to my foreign supervisor, MD, PhD, Professor Katarzyna Wicherovska-Tobis, for her invaluable contribution, encouragement, patience, for guiding me in the field of science. I extend my gratitude to the leadership of the West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, the vice rectors, and also the dean of the Center for Masters, Doctoral and Postdoctoral Studies, Gulbakht Kuanchkalina Kushmakambetova, and my colleagues, the team of the Department of Public Health and Healthcare. Finally, I thank my family, my husband and children, and my friends for their constant support throughout this scientific journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerбез Наушаевна, for your final statement. Let us now proceed to the election of the Accounting Commission, consisting of 3 members selected from the Dissertation Council, including the chairperson. I propose to appoint Saulia Kabibulaevna Vermagambetova as the chair of the Accounting Commission. The floor is given to the Deputy Chairperson of the Dissertation Council, Saulia Kabibulaevna Vermagambetova, in her capacity as chair of the Accounting Commission to nominate the members of the Commission.
Thank you. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, allow me to present the members of the Accounting Commission. PhD Associate Professor Vitinis Kalibatas and Doctor of Medical Science Professor Maksud Karimovich Ulzhanov.
Who is in favor of the proposed composition of the Accounting Commission? Please vote. Unanimously approved. There are no votes against and abstained. The composition of the Accounting Commission is approved unanimously.
In accordance with order number 425, date August 29, 2024, Chapter 2, paragraphs 33 and 44, at the procedure for conducting the PhD dissertation defense at West Kazakhstan Marata Оспанов Medical University, members of the Dissertation Council who are scientific advisors, direct supervisors or close relatives of the doctoral candidate are not permitted to participate in the voting. At the same time, official reviewers are entitled to take part in the secret ballot, and their votes carry the same weight as those of the council members. You will be presented with a voting ballot in which you are required to choose one of the following 4 decisions. First, to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, or Doctor in the relevant field, and petition the committee for the conferral of the degree upon the doctoral candidate. Second, to return the dissertation for revision. Third, to require the dissertation to be defended again. Fourth, they reject the awarding of the PhD or doctoral degree and decline the petition the committee for the conferral of the degree. I hereby announce a break for the secret ballot on the petition to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, to Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова for her dissertation on the topic Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire within the framework of this educational program AD 10101 Public Health. A link for online voting will be provided to members of the Dissertation Council.
Please turn off audio and video broadcasting during the secret ballot while keeping the live stream active.
Hello, Professor. Good day.
Hi, you guys.
How are you?
Good morning.
Thank you, fine. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Perfect.
Second,
Yes.
third, and fourth,
And fourth.
and fifth.
Online. And we have online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Online. 4 members of Dissertation Council participate online, and 4 votes. Thank you. Thank you, professors.
To announce the results of the secret ballot, the floor is given to the chair of the Counting Commission, Sauli Kabibulaevna Bermagambetova.
Dear Chairman of the Dissertation Council, dear members of the Dissertation Council, the Counting Commission, composed of the Chair Sauli Bermagambetova and members PhD Associate Professor Vitenis Kalibatas and Doctor of Medical Science Professor Maksud Karimovich Kulzhanov, hereby report the results of the secret ballot and submits the vote count protocol for approval. A total of 9 individuals participated in the secret ballot, including 4 members participating online and 5 members participating in person. According to the results of the vote count, no corrections, erasures, or spoiled ballots were identified. The results are as follows. To award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and to petition the committee for conferral of the degree upon the doctoral candidate. 9 numbers, 9 votes.
We had the report of Counting Commission. There is a proposal to approve the protocol of the Counting Commission by open vote. Those in favor of his proposal, please vote. No votes against or abstained. The protocol of the Counting Commission is unanimously approved. Thus, the Dissertation Council has voted unanimously and will petition the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of Science and Higher Education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan to award Kerбез Наушаевна Киматова the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and the educational program 8D-10101 Public Health, based on her dissertation entitled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan. The voting was unanimous. The final resolution of the Dissertation Council is as follows. The Dissertation Council of the Educational Program 8D-10101 Public Health at West Kazakhstan, Marata Оспанов Medical University, based on the public defense of the dissertation by Кербез Наушаевна Киматова, entitled Medical and Social Needs of the Older People based on the EASYCare Standard 2010 questionnaire in the Republic of Kazakhstan, and the results of the secret ballot petitions on the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of Science and Higher Education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan to award her the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations, Kerбез Наушаевна. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, are there any comments or suggestions regarding the open dissertation defense? No comments? Thank you to all members of the Dissertation Council, our guests, and all attendees for your participation. The session of the Dissertation Council is hereby declared closed. Thank you.